Today I want to share with you some new, exciting, and very actionable results about how the timing of protein intake really matters for muscle growth and maintenance. Basically, the contour of the study was they looked at mice and humans, and they fed those mice or humans a diet that included most of the dietary protein early in the day or most of the dietary protein later in the day. So it was basically a 2-meal-a-day regimen. So you can think of this as a high protein breakfast and then less protein across the day, such that dinner was low to moderate protein, or a low protein or moderate protein breakfast and then a high protein dinner. And I should mention these were proteins that were rich in the various amino acids, including leucine, and in some cases, they actually supplemented with branched chain amino acids either early in the day or late in the day. What they found was essentially that ingesting the higher amount of protein early in the day or branched chain amino acids early in the day led to a greater degree of muscle maintenance and growth and correlated with grip strength in humans. And yes, they actually got mice resistance training. Now, how does this work? Why would it be that ingesting your protein early in the day would matter? Well, it turns out that, of course, you have muscles and those muscles have fibers, but within those muscle fibers, you have muscle cells. And those cells have nuclei, and within the nuclei, they have DNA, genes and so forth. DNA is transcribed into RNA. RNA is translated into proteins. Muscle protein synthesis is essentially the basis of resistance training-induced hypertrophy or growth of muscle tissue. That process is regulated in a circadian fashion, meaning across the 24-hour cycle. And the reason it's regulated is that within those muscle cells, there are genes that we call clock genes, things like PER and BMAL. BMAL is a particular clock gene that turns out to be relevant here. They knocked out or removed BMAL from muscle cells. They did that experiment in mice. That's why they did that portion of the experiment in mice. You can't do that in humans. And what they found was that this effect of having more protein early in the day eliminated the effect of muscle hypertrophy. So what this shows is a loss of function experiment, removing BMAL, and essentially shows that clock genes and the regulation of protein synthesis across the 24-hour cycle is what mediates or underlies this effect of ingesting more protein early in the day, having a bigger effect on muscle hypertrophy. What this means is if you're interested in maintenance or growth of muscles, you're going to want to ingest most of your protein, or at least ingest protein early in the day. Now that is true regardless of sleep cycle, and it's true regardless of when you resistance train. And that's where it really gets interesting. It didn't matter whether or not the resistance training fell late in the day or early in the day. Ingesting branched chain amino acids and high quality proteins early in the day led to greater muscle maintenance and growth. In humans, what this means is that the hours between about 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. are this key window for ingesting proteins to lead to muscle hypertrophy and growth. That's true whether or not you're resistance training or not. That can impact basic functions like grip strength, in addition to things like muscle growth and maintenance. And as I mentioned, this study was done in a variety of different subjects and really converges on a mechanism. And that mechanism is really important. I just want to emphasize this. Every cell in your body has a clock that is governed by the 24-hour cycle. So basically, we should all be eating early in the day. We should be active early in the day. We should be getting light early in the day. That's the ideal schedule. And then tapering all that off toward evening and nighttime.